avatar, it has this very kind of like, do you know the French word filou?
Filou?
Filou, yeah, it's kind of like the very kind of chip on your shoulder kind of smile
Oh,
that you have in your avatar picture.
No shirts today.
it's too cold.
Yeah, absolutely. On the East Coast, at least.
It's the first day of real fall.
I see California is still a bit more open.
Oh,
It's so gorgeous and wonderful.
beautiful.
And frozen. And wow, it is super pretty. Oh, how freezy are we on your side?
She looks really hot. She doesn't look freezy at all.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
What are you looking for, JJ?
Oh, bad. Huh. I hit live. Great smile there.
I'm looking to show up
That's a lie.
consistently with bigger balls.
Right.
Ouch.
What would you do with balls instead of ovaries?
I don't want to have them instead of ovaries. I want to have both and deploy them whenever it makes sense.
Are you going to wait for an external authority figure to tell you? How do you know
tell
when
me
to
what.
deploy each?
Well, specifically, I'm finding myself having a lot of internal resistance to stuff like hosting or being in a salesy mode. That's a place where I could benefit from showing up with more balls.
Depends who your audience is.
You seem doubtful about it.
I'm gonna try to close the browser here. It is.
Browsers are good things to close. Hello, Dakota.
Hmm.
I thought you'd be out having some fun with magic.
Candidate to prioritize being here with JJ. So
Oh wow, this is the slowest I've ever experienced this computer. I'm sorry, guys. Have to look the code. But for context, that I was going to focus on yourself for the first 15 or so minutes, but it is. It's just absurd. I'm so glad that it's not normally this slow.
Do you want to check ping times?
I'm guessing it's multiple browsers being open.
Are you sure it's your computer, not the internet?
Yeah. Because every time I click, it goes slow.
Okay.
I think it's
Do you
fine
want to
now.
restart it?
Way to use your balls there, JJ. Wow. If you had balls, we'd be calling you a pussy right now, but
Hey, Dakota, I haven't met you yet.
I've seen you. I haven't engaged with you. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Fucking cray.
do you think that she knows that she hasn't engaged with you, or are you just such a nothing of an engagement that you have to remind people that they haven't engaged with you?
You hate it so much when I explain, don't you?
I think it's like females have a tendency to apologize for things that they have no control over.
I was not apologizing.
Really? What would you call it then?
I think that there were things that were underneath the words that I said. Like
So
I've been
you're
skillfully choosing not to engage with her. It's been a
you're
choice.
skillfully. No, you haven't been skillfully doing anything.
Wait, okay, there's a whole frame around like blooming feminines through praise and rewarding things that are working well. You see,
Yeah, but why do you think it works so well with Dakota not to do that?
why do I think it works well for her not to do that? Because,
For me, not to do that with Dakota.
oh, I don't know yet. I haven't seen it yet.
Because she knows that she's lying about her smallness. And everybody who buys into her acting small and stupid, she hates. Yeah, cover the smile, Dakota.
I don't entirely agree with your statement, so
Oh, not entirely. 99.6%. Yeah.
uh weren't we focusing on JJ?
Oh, God,
JJ
really?
having big balls?
Really?
I'd like to support empowering JJ to have contexts where she regularly experiences herself
And
as
you're mansplaining for the woman who's trying to have big balls?
Okay,
Really?
JJ,
also my
JJ, what do you want to work on? Why are you here right now?
Why? If she's trying to have big balls, why are you asking her questions?
I'm asking because all I've heard is like from the perspective of Alton, not from the perspective of JJ entirely.
Oh, so now you're going to mansplain her. Oh my God, this is so wonderful. Wonderful.
Ah.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah.
Why don't you go pout somewhere, little girl? Why don't you just run away into the corner and beat yourself up for once again putting out challenges to yourself that you fail miserably at in front of an audience?
Are you talking to me
JJ?
or Dakota?
Yes.
Me. Okay.
where's she? Oh. I'm out of loop on this.
So you're basically saying I'm setting myself up to fail.
Of
And there's
course.
something in that I'm enjoying deeply.
I dare you. I dare you, JJ.
Hmm.
We know you're extremely competent. We know that there are many, many places that you can point to in your life where you are extremely competent. And you pull bouquets of roses out of your ass all the time. But here, is that expose gluteus maximus up in the air, getting all rosy red? It wasn't my fault. He's just a mean old bastard. I didn't set this up. I could own if I wanted rosy cheeks. I could. I really could.
With all your insight, Cray, why do I care so much about whether you judge me or not?
Don't.
Yeah, it's so easy said, so much easier said than done. Come on, dude.
You're just it's not, you don't care. You want me to like you.
Sure, that's part of judgment. Sure, if you tell me
But why
I
don't you
hate you,
speak
no,
more
no.
clearly?
Yeah, fucking difficult in this context.
Oh, wow, God.
For my nervous system, no, I can feel it. There's really this kind of there is. It's hard. It's hard.
No, it's not. Why do you keep believing that?
So you're saying I should disbelieve my feelings?
Why don't you act like it isn't hard? Don't give voice to your racist bullshit.
I still don't understand where racism comes into the picture.
Because
That's
you're speaking from a small part of you
and what does that have
that
to
you
do
don't
with
want to
racism?
empower.
And
You
what's
want
the
to
connection with
empower.
racism? What's the connection with racism? I
It's
never
just
understood
racism
that.
is a cue word that you're speaking what you've been told to speak. You don't have, just because you're having racist feelings, just because you think that you're small, just because you think it's difficult, doesn't mean that you have to give voice to it. Act as if it isn't small. Look, Dakota's actually acting like she's not a scared little, doozy woozy woozy weezy wazzable. She's actually sitting up right there. She's standing, she's smiling, she's emoting, she's confident.
Sometime in the past week, I had, or maybe like the week before, I had the idea I should get a Halloween, like an army uniform, and just once come to a call like this in like 2 or 3 stars at least.
Why not just act like you're wearing it?
Yeah, no, I get it. It's like that's the
Oh.
trick, I guess.
There's JJ looking down fondly at the space where she thought her balls would appear.
Ow,
There's
ow,
not
ow.
there. It's not there. I said I wanted them.
Well, you were speaking of KY earlier, so
Why is it so pleasurable, JJ?
I don't think it is actually.
Really?
that-
Inside your body, there's not pleasure right now. So
I'm
that
like
smile on your
noticing
face
this
is
big
a lie.
smile with like
Yeah.
my teeth coming out, and I don't know exactly why it's happening. I feel kind of frustrated.
Oh yeah, people smile when they're frustrated a lot. That's pretty common.
Hmm.
How's it going,
Right.
Alton?
Having a lot of flashbacks to memories of people who seem to enjoy being punished or put in their place, and wondering how they handle.
They're not being put in their place. That's the whole problem. They're being challenged. There's a different, yeah, look at that smile, JJ. There's a difference, Alton, being put in your place and challenging. I haven't put anybody in their place. I've pushed up really hard. And I've looked right into JJ. She's backed into a corner, and I am not touching her, and I am like a quarter inch away from her. And I'm saying, step out.
Well, the texture of being challenged is that there's like a corner, just like an edge. It's like a wall. So let's say I'm facing a wall, but I'm able to put my hand on the wall and kind of like
So your back
feel
is to
into
me?
what's on the other side. And I think
Your
that's what's
back is
making it
to me?
exciting.
Your back is to me?
Oh no, I'm facing you.
Not in that
I
position,
see
you
you.
weren't. You could not have put your hand around the corner that way if you were facing me. Yeah. Next, when you watch the video again, watch how you place your hand. And then go around and see if you can put your back to a wall and have your hand reach around a corner like that. What's that about?
What are we doing in this space specifically? Like, why does it matter whether my back is to you or if it's my front? You seem
Oh,
to
I
be
don't
very
know.
entertained.
I am. I don't know. People's back towards you. If you have them pressed up against a corner and their back is to you or their front is to you, probably doesn't make much difference. Don't smile too big, Dakota. Anyhow, how are those balls doing, JJ?
hanging.
No, they're not. They're withdrawn. You've sucked them up into your body. They're up around your throat someplace. Do you know that sumo wrestlers are trained to do that?
To protect themselves better.
Yep.
What are you smiling about, Dakota?
It's sexual, so I'm
And
I don't feel the need to share at group level on
um,
a
better they guess.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's a weird form of evocation or evocatism. Evocation,
How
ultimately.
so? How so?
Because challenge is different than being the normal evocative is like you're lighting incense or something, or you're seriously, Norman. Seriously? You're gonna do the human fly bit? Really? Okay.
I love the vibes.
I had a migraine earlier. This is
Mm.
needed, not aesthetic.
Mm.
Why is Cray leaning?
Trying to listen to you better. You can't get those glasses in a more aesthetically pleasing form?
They look pretty cool sometimes.
Sometimes. That's cute. Anyhow.
Gray, I don't understand anything about how I can support creating more containers where people can own their desires around us. I'd like to do that at Evergreen generally, and have everyone here be able to own.
What's the first thing you got to do? What's the first,
No.
in this culture, what is the first entry point?
To know
Their
it.
intellect.
Yeah.
So you break it up into 4 different areas: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. And you say, and then you grade it into light, medium, and heavy. And you say, what are your desires in these 4 different areas? And the challenge for all of you is to actually put something in each of the 12 boxes. Actually put something down. Reach for that. And then share it.
Emotional, what was it? Physical?
Physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. It's the easiest map I got of humans. Other than a point of consciousness. But you can't mess with that. So. You have people list them down. And then you get into a group situation, you share them, and then you try to brainstorm. You sit up in front of the thing and you brainstorm and say, oh, okay, this is about Dakota and her desire to, eat sushi. How do we think we can support her in doing this? I hope you didn't take eating sushi in a sexual way, Dakota.
No, I didn't.
Oh, but somebody else did. Oh, magic is listening in. Is it magic or is it somebody else?
That's not his real name. That's
I know it's not his real
it's
name, but what?
an erotic name that I am using as a placeholder.
Neurotic? Yes, very neurotic. Magic and his magic wand. Yeah, no doubt.
He's not here.
Oh, okay.
Mm. Mm.
Anytime, JJ. Or you can just sit there and seethe.
Well, I'd really like to engage with Dakota, but
Take her to her room.
Why don't we start on a group level? What are you wanting, JJ, in relationship to me?
I like to feel something about you. And right now, I'm just feeling like, oh, there's like some humor that's happening for you that you're not sharing. There's, intentionally not engaging. And I'm like, what is there? I'm not saying much.
Balls. Say something ballsy.
Like you're wearing a
I want to taste your
shirt.
left shirt.
What?
Say something ballsy, JJ. Something dangerous. Something that she's going to know that you're actually paying attention to her, and the words coming out of your mouth are specifically addressed to her and not to anybody else on the planet.
I'm really curious what's going on behind your facial expression.
Stop. That could be addressed to Jochen, could be addressed to Norman, could be addressed to me, could be addressed to one of the fathoms. You're not saying anything specific about her. If you want to have balls, you have to notice something. You have to demonstrate that you're paying attention. How are
You're
those
rolling
cheeks
your
doing,
eyes. You
JJ?
seem to be pretty annoyed. There's the smile that ends in a flat line, like you're not letting it go all the way.
Oh, God.
Now you're
Be
hiding
a-
your lips.
So, JJ,
Uh-huh.
you're not doing a critique. You're trying to show her that you're noticing her not like a camera, but like a real live person who is being impacted by what they see. The way that your mouth, I think those are really cute pajamas, by the way.
I'll pass
Make
it
sure
on.
you tell them that. Dakota, the
Really
way
cute
that you
pajamas.
hold the edges of your mouth, I'm really interested. I think that you're stopping yourself from that wide, toothy carnivorousness, that you're being pleasant. I'm really curious to see whether that's just a story I'm making up. Does that make sense, JJ?
Good demo.
Yes.
I want to try one.
Try one what?
Dakota, I want to see.
First, you get her name right.
Did I get it wrong?
Dakota.
Dakota. I want to see what happens to your face when I straighten your hair by pulling it.
So that's better, but you're making it all about you. So now you want to say, I imagine that pulling your hair would not be off the table, maybe on the second date. You're still expressing your interest, but you're asking her a question that she's accepting, and now she's going to have to reveal something. You're not just sitting back saying, I would like to manipulate you and do these and then do these and rah, 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 and I think something would happen. JJ. At JJ, may I?
Can you make it louder?
JJ, may I?
Yes, please.
You had the example. Step up to the plate and try again.
Okay. But I have a story that there is a lot of tension in your shoulders right now. I'm curious what it might feel like if I put my hands in there and press and breathe into it together with you.
Okay, great. Great try. Now make it about you and the shoulders, about how touching her would affect you.
I would feel
No,
into
no, do the whole thing again, but in it, put how it looks like your shoulders are really tense. Great observation. If she's tense, you're on. But now you want to give her a taste of you tasting her.
Okay. As I put my hands on them, I can feel into the hardness of the muscles there. And as I breathe into them, I can feel a little bit of my own shoulders relax. And I can
Standard adolescent masculine mistake, describing a video. Big mistake. Masculines like to tell each other about videos, but when you're talking to a feminine, don't describe a video. That's not you. You can't be touching her right now. You can say, I can imagine as if, but don't step over into, oh, you're 3,000 miles away and I'm going to describe a video scene to you. And she's like, you want me to get out of my experience and focus on a box that has a video display on it? And okay. You're asking her to watch TV with you.
Great. Can you model what the alternative you're saying here is?
She's got it. I mean, she's like, Dakota.
It's like
Thank you.
you're saying, come at me. It's like I imagine you might be lonely in there when people are not getting through.
No, Dakota, it looks like your shoulders might be a little tense.
Hmm.
And there's nothing I love more than sinking my fingers into some really broad shoulders that are tense. I love sinking my fingers into shoulders, broad shoulders. Now, that is a little bit there. That's nothing personal, Dakota, okay? Dakota's appears to be a large economy size woman. And I'm telling her I like that. I didn't say shoulders. I said broad shoulders. Slow down, Dakota.
I'm just sitting with JJ's like continued attempts.
Yeah.
And to me, as I'm watching, different people, Norman too, spit out stuff, there's just such a dramatic difference in how you're doing it versus how they're doing it. Like it feels like they got close to an edge, but there's a lack of, I can't feel them. I think that's like the headline. Like I can't feel you when you're saying it, JJ. It got closer with you, Norman, but I still can't feel you. There's like a way in which you could step into radical presence where your words land as though they're penetrating me. And what I've gotten so far, there's no penetration.
It seems very logical to me that adolescent masculines aren't very good at penetration. They're really good at description. Now, Norman can penetrate the hell out of you. If he's there in person, the way that he can slide his hand just across your shoulders and look at you, really penetrate.
Yeah, I don't know JJ, but I make up Norman has better capacity. I can sense that.
There's that wall again.
What do you mean by wall?
Oh, like
Oh,
the
between
fun
us?
challenge.
Try so stop with the adolescent masculine, JJ, describing, and see if you can come up with words that are feminine according to this culture. Come up with a feeling rather than a label.
Hmm.
How do you feel when she said that? Your masculine felt something, and the safest thing to do is label it. Because it doesn't give anybody any sense, any unpracticed eyes. It gives them no information about you.
Hmm. It kind of felt like a slap, but I noticed that there was a smile on my face at the end of it. And then when I saw you move your shoulders around, it kind of felt like you were reaching out your hand to me.
Okay, so stop with a like and just say, I like getting slapped by you, Dakota. Just try it. Just try it, JJ. Close your eyes and just say the words and see what happens to your experience.
Hmm. I liked getting slapped by you, Dakota.
The last bit was sucky, but did you feel all of the textures that she put into that sentence?
Again, I appreciate the attempts, but it's just not landing.
Okay. So, Dakota, you want her to come out and play, or do you want to push her back in the car and lock the door?
I know. I should stop being so critical.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not being critical or not. It's how you're doing it.
Yeah, I think it's because
I am not being reached by your inefficient. Blah 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 blah. You're doing her. Stop it. What would you have done if magic had done that to you?
if he had said it in the exact way that JJ just said it.
Something like that. If he hadn't touched you like that.
Electricity would have been zapped. I would have stepped my body away from him. I would have been less interested.
Right. So now, given that that happened, what do you have to do to make it more? Instead of stepping away from it, step into it, change how you're being such that she has no choice but to orgasm all over you.
I'm giggling because like the whole time as you've been practicing, JJ, like not that I'd actually get wet, but like the desire that I've had is that the way in which you say something in relationship to me, it like comes close to that. Like I just like surrender to what you're saying. And that's what I'm wanting in relationship to you, for your words to hit me like that, so that I want to walk closer to you.
Stop making it dependent upon your experience. Just do it. Do it with the intention of rocking her world.
Okay, here's what's coming up for me.
No, not interested in what's coming up for you. That's crap. I'm interested in you stepping out of your box and doing something different.
In this specific dyad,
Yeah.
I'm hitting a limit where I'm becoming less interested. And so
I'm sorry, the baby's crying and it's been crying and I'm just too tired. I'm gonna go with my authenticity, god damn it. I don't feel like taking care of the baby tonight. Let it rot. Because you know what? The most important thing in this world is me staying in my little bigoted cage of self and being authentic about it. That's how the world's going to change. If we all stay in our little tiny boxes and be authentic haters.
I think what I don't like in this moment is I feel like I'm being made wrong by your challenger because I'm not
Who
actively.
cares? Who cares? I don't care what your interpretation is. Is this how you want to show up? As, excuse me, you're wronging me? No, that's not how you want to show up. How do you show up as wet and juicy?
Okay,
You
but
really want all those bigots out there to out their bigots and to be authentic about all the crap that's going on with them?
okay, Pray, but
Really?
I don't want to be wet and juicy with everyone.
Why
Like-
not? Why not? That sounds like a hell of a lot more fun than the life you're living.
Okay, you need to.
Are you agreeing with me? Are you agreeing with me? Yes, you are.
No, because
No,
I don't.
okay. Who here don't you want to be wet and juicy with? They can handle it.
In this moment,
No, yesterday.
JJ, okay, the only people that I'd be like lukewarm towards getting wet and juicy is probably Norman and Alton.
Good. Now imagine the person you could be if you could. That you have broadened your vocabulary and your skill set such that you can pick and choose whoever you want. You're not dependent upon your history. You're not dependent upon your prejudices. You're not dependent upon anything. Yeah, that sounds kind of fun, huh?
Well, what's coming up for me is I can fucking do that when I choose to do it with somebody, but
Yeah.
I'm choosing to do that
Why
with
not? Why not? It's like I could be having the time of life, but I'm not choosing to do it now. No, I'm not going to have fun because that's authentic for me right now, and this is my prejudice. I'm not going to have fun with you two. No. Fine.
JJ.
Thank God it's not the bathroom.
No, I wouldn't do that to you.
Oh, yes, you would.
Maybe,
Oh,
maybe
yes,
to
you would.
To you, Cray, yes, but not to anyone else.
Yeah. JJ. Balls. Are you paying attention? Are you trying to see the tells? Or are you just sitting back and overwhelmed?
Oh, Dakota seems to be so above it all.
She's not. She's actually dancing with me. In her resistance, she has to put up a token resistance. Because, she can't just dance with anybody. Yeah, and Dakota, like most people, love to have their passions put on display if it's not abusive. She's engaging way more than you are, JJ, and this is your show. JJ, are you seriously going to be petulant? Really? If you're gonna pout. JJ's like, I'm not gonna have fun now. You guys made fun of me, and she chose me not to be juicy with. Me of all people.
It's just
Oh, give me an excuse, please. Give me an excuse for why you're being the way you are. Some external authority figure is telling you that you have to be this way, whether it's outside or inside.
I'm not sure where do I move right now.
Where do you want to move? If you can't, so may I, JJ?
Yeah.
You got a hard on. You got a real nice hard on going there, and it's not a nice one. But what are you going to do about it? If you don't practice doing something with it, you just have to walk around all stooped over so nobody knows.
It's like I'm looking through the options and none of them I like.
So, who's the person with balls that you're trying to model yourself on? Oops. Oops. You don't have one? So you're trying to look inside for how to be with balls? You've never had balls before.
There's different ways that I see different people show up in what I consider big and I'm not doing it right now. Yes, I can see that.
Yep. So, will you please take one of your 10-minute famous exit stage left things and go run and find a computer and find somebody doing ballsy things so that you're not the deer in the headlight like you are right now? And come back and say, this is what Daniel Ortega would do.
How about Marla Singer?
Who?
Marla Singer from Fight Club? The love interest of Tyler Durden.
No, I would not have her do a feminine.
Okay.
Tyler Durden is a little bit too far out of her reach.
Atticus Finch
No.
or Groundhog Day, Phil Connors.
Is that your chat GBT?
Elizabeth Gilbert.
Yeah, why should I use my own brain when I can use an electronic one? Here we are.
Well, so okay, how can I show up such that it's just the easy default where people are playing at that level of owning their balls or whatever it is they
You
desire?
have to show up with balls.
So just model it. I mean, I have it that I'm pretty consistent, like, hey, that's the thing that I want, but I'm hearing that it's more deeply embodied in some way that you're.
So the way to know if you're showing up with balls is ask them. Don't assume that you understand what balls are. Balls is going to be different for Norman, for Dakota, and for Jochen. So you're going to have to, it's like whether you want to show up with your own balls from your own monoculture, or you're looking to show up with balls so that you impact people. Now, if I'm dancing with Norman and I'm trying to be bally, I'm going to have to be a lot more sophisticated than dancing with Dakota. That's my prejudice. Like if I'm crude or Norman will give me a couple swings. But if I'm not showing up as sophisticated, he's going to be like, no, I don't do unsophisticated bears. Sorry, old man. Dakota's just like, I want a bigger baseball bat, please.
Well, what I'm thinking about right now, which is something I was talking to them about.
Will you stop doing that? Just say it.
Okay. Something I want more practice with is being challenged to the point where I'm about to go into a fight or flight response and then staying with the conversation and not going somewhere else.
How did Magic not perform as they should have last night?
This is not about magic. This is
I'm not, I don't give you, I'm asking for your opinion. I'm not asking about him.
repeat the question.
How did he not do what you wanted him to do? What did he not do? And he's watching this.
Everything was perfect.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It can't be. It's not human.
Like it was pretty close. I would say it was like 9.
So now it was perfect.
Okay.
Now it's pretty close.
It exceeded my expectations.
Don't give it. I'm not asking that.
Okay.
Given what you know about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
I'm fairly certain that in that long thing that you guys did,
Mm-hmm.
that there was something where you're like, oh God, I'm going to have to explain that to him. Because he doesn't get it.
Okay.
Oh, look, it's the siren.
Hmm. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by Amber.
This is the point. You can be positively reactive too.
Okay.
She is very distracting. She models herself that way.
I know. Yeah, the things that are coming up feel very X-rated, so I'm like,
Oh, damn.
and now I'm being distracted by what Rian said.
Right. So now there you go. What do you want to say to Rian? Yeah, no, not that. That's that. Come on. So
No.
you want practice? You want now what you want to say to Rian?
I know. What's happening is
I don't care what's happening. Nobody cares what's happening.
Okay.
What do you want to say to him?
Rian, I'm pretty fucking sick.
Oh, Jesus Christ. With that tone of voice? Really? How good girl can you be?
Well, I'm in too much of a pleasurable state to bring out my aggressor and to be.
Oh, no. Practice being, you get pleasure in your aggression, young lady.
Yes, I do.
So you just go ahead and stop playing.
Okay.
Short, simple, and see if you can match the tone of your voice with what's in your belly. Do not explain anything to him.
Okay.
Any day now.
It's happening. So I'm
Great. I delivered. Yay. I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah, I'm still here,
Era.
but okay. Unable. There's too much
Shut
stimuli.
up. Shut up.
Too much stimuli.
Shut up. Wah, wah, wah.
Hi, Amber.
Oh,
Hi,
God.
Dakota.
What's up? Good to see you.
You too.
Oh, God.
Right. I want to learn to love my piece of shit.
Why?
Because the hypothesis is that if I don't love it, then it will-
It's a recording. It's a recording. Go ahead, go into your music room and love a record. Do you think that's going to change the record?
How are you so positive that it's a recording?
What's the other option?
Well, the other option is that some part of me was frozen at that level of maturity and it operates from that reality.
That's a recording. You hit the play button. Your psychology sees a certain stimulation out there, a certain constellation. It thinks it's your bad daddy from when you were 6. It goes out there and gets that record, puts it on, puts the needle in, and you're flooded with meaning making, feelings, and actions.
Okay. So
Stop it. Ignore it. Josh, you've done enough, okay? Put it down and step into doing what it doesn't want you to do. It doesn't want you to.
Hypothesis, or are you just going to railroad with your theories?
I'm going to railroad with my theories. Why? Why would I want to listen to your theories? Your theories are like hamster dick. Not very interesting.
Okay. I'll dance with someone else around it then.
So you just bought into you're a piece of shit one more time.
Do you want to
You
hear
just
the thing
did
or
it.
not? Do you want to dance, or are you just going to do your thing?
I'm dancing with you, you idiot. You're not stepping up to the plate.
So the hypothesis is that if I do not love these parts of me, they will seek love externally and I will lose my center.
They're not looking for love, you idiot. They're pieces of shit. They know that if they look for love, they're going to be shit upon.
That is their current errant belief, yes. But they still want it nonetheless. Like,
No, they don't. They have no idea. Love is a source of pain. I know this one. Okay?
I believe you know that one.
I know people did horrendous things to me when I was a kid in the name of love.
Yes.
My little kid who got raped is not looking for love because it hurts too fucking much.
And you don't think that somewhere along the way that if you got past the layers of pain, they would seek love, or you think they're permanently unseeking of love?
It's not a child. It's not a real child. It's recording about specific instances. It's like Pavlovian responses. What's the trigger for you're a piece of shit?
I mean, there are lots of them, but essentially
Just pick one.
doing it wrong.
Okay, so you do something wrong, okay? Your psychology says, oh, we did something wrong. That means we're a piece of shit. Hang on a second. And you're like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. All you're doing is giving voice to the recording. You know, Josh, that getting something wrong doesn't mean you're a piece of shit. A line behind your adult understanding.
The evidence
You can't-
suggests I don't know that, Cray, because otherwise I would behave in the way that you're saying. I know.
No, because the threat from your psychology is so huge, and you believe it. You believe that it's so huge and nasty, but it isn't. You've already had it happen. You've already your father has already said, I wish you had never been born. You've already heard that. That's the worst thing. And your psychology says, do you hear that noise behind that door? Do you hear that? If you go for love, we're going to open that door. If you try to not be a piece of shit, we're going to open that door, and that monster is going to devour you.
So,
and your little kid awareness is like, oh no. Your adult is, let the fucker out. Come on. Bring it out.
What I'm hearing is then we have shared reality on going for love is the move.
If that's what you want, why you want to chase an emotion, that's fine. I don't care. You can be going for sushi. If the love, if the life you want to have is full of love, then yes, you're going for love. That's fine.
And you think that if I attempt to love my piece of shit parts, who, from a light dark perspective, are embodied as the needy wretch, you think that that's a fool's errand?
I think that you want to embody the needy wretch so that you feel it, and that you feel it, so then you know what you're ignoring. And you're going to go up to JJ and you're going to dance love with her, or Alton, I don't care. You know, and you're going to get to experience it. Now, the difficulty is that you have a lot of child stuff wrapped up around love, expressions, feeling it, la 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 la, like Rian, okay? And so you've got to figure out, what does love mean to the adult? What are your actions? How do you dance with somebody? Does it mean you need to get married and have kids? Does it mean that you need to share a toothbrush? I don't know. That's up to you. There's no real embedded things that you have to do when love is present. It's a great feeling. I mean, yeah, but it's just a feeling.
And you don't think that that's ultimately what my psychology is chasing after with those
No,
parts?
your psychology is chasing after more proof that it's a piece of shit. That's why when you're in love, you do really stupid things. That afterwards, both you and I are going, God, that was a stupid thing to do. Yeah, that's what you're trying to do. In my understanding of you, one of the primary ways of proving your parents right is going into a love situation and fricking it up. And in ways that are really stupid. You excel at that. That's just what you've been trained to do. So now you can look at everybody here and you can say, oh my God. Unlike Dakota, I'm not afraid of loving everybody. I can act like I'm in love with everybody. I can touch people like I'm in love with them.
But so in my experience, I have a giving to get pattern where I will attempt to give someone what I can't give to myself. So if I love others and I'm not loving myself, wouldn't that be reinforcing it?
I don't. And you have a hypothesis that you're half Chinese. I don't know. The point is to dance with the love. I don't think your adult is dancing with love so it can get loved back. I think that's the kid. And the kid's going to be like, oh, that's what I should be doing. But you know what? The evidence suggests that when I love people, they shit on me. Okay? That's it. The adult is like, I'm loving people. Granted, if they shit on me enough, I'm not going to love on them anymore. I'm doing it because it feels good. Because it gives me more of the life that I want to have. Hello, Clara. You look very serious.
Just about to say that.
I can barely hear you.
Hello, also, Clara.
Your microphone sucks. Go into audio on your Zoom call and see if you can bump it up. Yeah. Hit the advanced button. Alton, why am I doing your job?
Surprised you're so eager to jump in.
Why do you think, Alton?
Why do I think that you were eager to advise her on microphone setup?
Why am I eager to engage with her?
Do you enjoy how she presents?
She presents in a way that has promise.
I really wish I could understand anything that she was saying right now. And that was also, my experience of meeting her in person in like less than a week ago. and I'd be invite her here. There's a texture of her directness and receptivity that I find pairs very well with this work in this school. In the meantime, while we figure out audio things, yeah, Craig, what are some of the signifiers of promise?
Okay, I'm on my. This work better. Sorry.
Yes, that works better.
Great. Okay. Well, that means I have to hold it or prop it up. But hi.
She looks like she's starving.
As in.
Yes.
Starving. You look like you're physically hungry.
I don't think I am.
I'm not telling you whether you are. I'm just saying
Okay.
that's what it looks like.
That's
Over
interesting.
Here.
Is it because I'm skinny or because I like look unhealthy?
It's like there's a quality from like in your cheeks.
Hmm.
There's not a lot of movement there.
Interesting. I have notable cheekbones, and maybe that does something. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just an opinion.
Yeah, I'm interested in opinions.
A little bit too much pressure in her speech.
Reasonable.
No, you're not reasonable.
I mean, are you?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
If you've been watching this, that's a really asinine question.
So I'd like to set something up with Clara to be joining this weekend with time with Josh and other housemates, people in here, to like design something. I don't know what that would look like, but
For Clara?
yes.
See if she can be touched.
Okay.
See what that means. My suspicion is that there's a dam ready to burst, so have the tissues ready. And don't let her con you into being forceful with her.
Fascinating take.
Slow, Alton. Love her, Josh. Let her direct you.
Ugh. Make me.
And it's patience, Josh. How do you make it safe for Clara? Where's that Ninny? Where's Ninny JJ gone? Go ahead, Clara. Ask your questions.
Oh, I don't know if I have any solid ones yet. Or I have.
Solid ones. I have
I
lots
have
of
many of
vaporous
them.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll sit here and watch Dakota play her guitar.
I still want to know the answer to what I asked you, Dakota.
Which one?
Why you're choosing to hinge your joy on someone else's competency at navigating your subjectivity.
Dakota
Mhm.
feels safe. It's acting school, Dakota. Please just repeat that because it feels safe. Or don't. I don't care.
It feels so much more complicated to me why I'm doing that than it's safe.
Okay.
That's an element, but it's not the full truth.
Oh, God. Yes. Please give us your full truth, and nobody else will be able to say anything for 3 or 4 hours. The point is to put Rian in his place. When he attempts to skewer you like that,
So I'm in a space of only wanting to put him in his place when his way of communicating dysregulates me.
then you practice putting him in his place when he dysregulates you, because there's going to be plenty of opportunities in your life to dysregulate somebody when they're trying to dysregulate you. You need to step aside and let his attempts to dysregulate you pass through. You just let him go. You can feel the dysregulation, and that's okay. You get to draw a line with Rian and say, no. I don't care how authentic it is for you, Rian. You don't get to talk to me like that.
Those words, like what you
Yep.
just said at the end there, ooh, that is hard for me to do.
So look at him and say them. You're an adult human being. You can say any sentence on the planet. Really.
What you said, Rian, does not work for me, and I do not want to engage with your question.
Stop, 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 stop. Don't explain yourself.
I wasn't going to this time.
Son.
Hmm.
Rian is very, very good at what he does. He's not going to change unless a lot of people put him in a place where you can't do your heroin with us. You're going to have to choose something else.
Well, why not, Dakota?
Now, you have to give him an indication that you heard him and you're choosing not to respond. Rian, when you say
I'm not sure
something
that
to him,
I'm not sure that she's choosing not to respond. I think she was just thinking before she answers what about it doesn't work for you.
Yeah, I was thinking, but now I'm in the meta, and which Rian knows I do this. We'll talk about it, and it'll distract me, and then I won't be able to answer the question.
he's very, very good at what he does.
That's an instance of Dakota being good at what she does, actually.
Say more.
Don't, yeah.
I don't want to. I want the answer to what I asked you.
I know.
What about it doesn't work for you?
I feel like when
Oh, God! Does everybody see he's baiting her? And he's trying lots of different little baits.
Okay, fuck off.
You know, and he's good. We all know that. So he's got like 14 different things that he's going to try. And because Dakota isn't used to dealing with mad ninja skills, she's going to bite on one of them, giving him his hit.
I
That's my
want you to
opinion.
use the strategy that Cray suggested.
That's number 14.
That one doesn't need a response. I just
15. Here comes 16. He can't help himself.
Sure, yeah, I have things that I want to say.
16.
They have nothing to do with getting some reaction out of Dakota always.
Always.
I think there's truth to that.
Stop. God, you just can't help yourself, can you? You cannot help yourself.
No, but that wasn't a violation of her
will
boundary that she drew.
Yeah,
I
it
will-
wasn't.
I will find a way to let him abuse me. I will find a
Be
way
in relationship
that
with.
he can hurt me.
What did you say, Rian?
To be in relationship with is what you're finding a way to do. Like I just pointed out, her
Okay.
responding to what I said wasn't violating the boundary you had her draw.
The issue for me is when he continues to question, he blows over my emotional experience, and I just, yeah, that's the issue. I'm not against answering his questions,
I think
but there's
you blow over your emotional experience.
fuck you. If you can't get some sense of what I'm saying right now, I feel disappointed.
For a perpetrator to be successful, You have to be dancing with him.
Hmm.
If you refuse to dance, you'll probably get pissed off, up the
I don't
ante.
think you're disappointed.
You're playing on things that you know about me that enable me to continue to communicate with you, even though it doesn't completely work for me.
Okay. Clearly, it must work for you if you're continuing to do it.
There's rewards and there's consequences with most moves.
All moves.
Sound familiar, Josh?
I remember being such a way every time I'm triggered.
Yeah, I only get like this with him. There's nobody else in my life that I
Shut
have.
up, Dakota.
It's fucking true.
Shut up. You rise to the bait of anybody who does this. Rise, I do it. Amber does it. Rian does it. Anybody does this game with you, and you rise to the occasion.
Yeah, as you know, I do like the heroin, but there's a particular dance with him that is very explicitly different for me.
I just imagine you're suffering from not many people calling you out on your sin. You're rolling your eyes, but those are basically like your words.
Whew.
Your fuck you is so performative. It was like, you know how in theater, when you face somebody on the stage, you're both taught to turn out to the audience. That's like you're saying it like diagonally to me.
Anybody who's watching, this is an example of an adolescent masculine doing their thing. And he's
I'm not
good
trying to
at
be
it.
very manly.
And he's trying to get his hooks into a reactive pattern of Dakota's. And she's feeling her reactive pattern. I'm guessing that this is her abuse pattern. And part of her is loving the attention. And somehow she thinks that, in my opinion, the pain that he's sending her way is necessary.
Yeah.
And rather than taking a stand against being pained by somebody, she's going to sit there and she's going to take it and pay more attention to the pleasure she's having than the pain she's getting.
The rise and fall of submitting to
And
the.
she's going to make a joke out of it
Mm-hmm.
while she's letting her 6-year-old get raped again. How's it feel to be pimping out a little girl, Dakota? You're taking a single-digit child and you're letting Rian do this to her. How is that for you?
Not good.
Smile on your face says otherwise.
It's a deflection.
What must you think such that this is okay?
Cost benefit analysis.
Yeah. What is the benefit?
It feels too vulnerable to share.
Right. So for me, I'm going to do the Cray thing, and Facebook people think what you want. You know, you're the pimp. He's called up. Rian is called up and says, "I want that 11-year-old." And you put her in the car, and you drive her over there, and you walk up the steps and ring the bell. Rian opens the door, and you let her go in because of the benefit that you're going to get.
Yeah, this is making me feel physically ill.
Good. I don't think it'll change much, but at least you have witnesses.
Oh.
In case it is like through some action of mine been like pervade this way. I'm not acting this way toward Dakota like for Dakota's benefit per se. Like it seems that some people may be misinterpreting that or something, but I am doing it for my sake. I consider you like the aggressor often.
I'm justified. I'm justified in doing this to an 11-year-old, 6-year-old, 8-year-old, somewhere in there. I'm justified.
I mean, if you take hostages, it doesn't mean that the hostages are going to live.
He's justified in taking hostages.
No, I'm saying justified in killing the hostages in order to stop the terrorism.
Okay. That's his 7-year-old. And you guys are doing what's happening in Israel right now. You guys are perpetuating it. You're self-identifying with your primal characters. And you're justifying. You're justifying the horrors that you're committing with each other.
It's her or me.
Both of you.
No, I'm saying has to be her or it has to be me, and I don't want it to be me.
Yeah, fine. That is one way of thinking about it. Don't argue with it, Dakota. Or go ahead. I don't care. To me, this is why I don't watch the news. Because I get to watch this, you know. If I didn't have a contract with frickin' Alton, I would be out of here because this is too frickin' painful for me. It hurts. It's fine.
What about it hurts?
In Israel, they shot babies. I saw a video the other day accidentally of them stomping on the fingers of somebody so that they fell 4 stories and died. This is people aligning behind creating pain in other people because it's justified because of what has happened to them.
I mean, it's feedback.
Yes, killing babies is a form of feedback.
It's no different than animals in the jungle.
We're not animals. We don't have instincts. You get to choose, Rian. Every single person out there gets to choose. It might be a difficult choice, I grant you. But you get to choose. You're a human being. In relational context, there are no instincts. You can choose to put aside your bigotry, your hatred, your history, and act differently. That's what we encourage people to do.
I think that's definitely something you can move towards. I don't think that's something that's accessible to everyone at all times.
You can try.
Sure.
You can say, I am not going to throw that rock at that black person. I am not going to do that. If I have to cut off my hand, I'm not going to do that. Sooner or later, you have to take a stand, and it's incredibly painful. It is incredibly painful.
I don't know how. I don't agree. As soon as someone picks up a rock and throws it at some black guy, that is telling me that they didn't have the capacity not to, not that they weren't trying not to.
Fine. So you have no capacity not to be hateful right now. That's what you're saying.
No, I don't think. I think that in
Turn
every
off
moment
the
that
screen, Rian. Turn off the screen. Get out of here. At least you could do that. No, I can't. I have to stay here. Right.
yes, I'm agreeing with you.
Fine. Then you're demonstrating a level of inability to make choices that has me say, if you can't get off the screen because you're doing something that intellectually you don't want to do, why am I going to interact with you?
I'm not
That is a
following along.
level.
Not sure what turning off the screen has to do with this.
That you won't be doing hateful things in here.
Sure, I could. If my eye causes me to sin, I could pluck it out. Like, why don't you do that either? Like, if I kill myself, I won't do any evil things.
I'm not asking you to kill yourself. All I'm saying is stop being a racist bigot. That's all I'm asking.
That's beyond the
Just-
capacity of everyone who is one.
I'm not asking anyone but you, Rian.
And every action I show that is bigoted and racist demonstrates that it was beyond my capacity. Like I said, when I was agreeing with you, it's
Then-
not beyond my capacity in
then-
this moment for sure.
Then you say that the people who are killing the babies and committing the atrocities can't help themselves.
Yes, I do.
Okay, then fine. We live in your world. Act like that and see what kind of world you have. I choose not to say some of the things that I think aren't going to land well.
As do I.
Okay?
Rian, you don't have the capacity to turn off the screen and take a break to regulate and then come back later?
I don't feel that my words toward Dakota were the product of dysregulation that they are like unhelpfully harmful.
Do you think they were helpful?
Don't
Do I
say
what?
anything. Don't say anything, Dakota.
I was talking to Josh.
I know you were talking.
So you think they were helpfully harmful?
I think they were. I don't think I have the capacity to be certain of such a thing, but I think that they were substantial. They were something to engage with.
So
And
the pain you're feeling is real, and therefore the things you're saying from that pain are substantiated.
No. The pain is not their substantiation. It is that the things that I'm pointing out in her are, in as best as I can tell, like, intersubjectively substantial.
And are you pointing them out in a way where it is bringing about more of what you want in her?
See, this is kind of like impasse that I think may be the product of misassessing how I'm framing things. Like I'm not saying this so that she changes. I'm saying this so that she either changes or gets away from me and stops aggressing me. I can say, here's the door if you want to access me. If not, get away.
If you want her to stop aggressing with you, then stop interacting with her.
Well, she's reporting a willingness to try to take the door that I'm pointing to that is acceptable.
Fine.
Do you not have the capacity to unilaterally block her?
Sure, but I enjoy interacting with her.
He's saying that she says, I'm willing to entertain you. So, like I said, it takes two to tango. Nice try, Josh. Is JJ okay?
This I do not know. Alton has gone to check on her.
Ryan, how do you relate to compassion?
How do I relate to compassion? Is that what was asked?
Yes.
Well, the way I framed it recently for the first time that I felt was a good way or like an accurate way to convey it is that I feel a like embodied compassion only for like mankind almost, or like or people or strangers or something. I don't really feel it for the people that I am like wanting to be intimate to. It becomes much more cognitively empathic and like in retrospect, or like when I'm outside of that interaction, I look back and see how I wasn't empathic and empathize with how my words hurt them or whatever.
I don't think I fully got that, but part of the flavor that I liked was reflection and using it as kind of like a North Star, or like how compassionate was I able to be in this interaction?
I would have phrased it differently if I knew that you weren't Alton, but weren't Nolan, right?
I'm Nolan. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I can't see you or something.
I'm also.
He's in a
But you're in the mirror.
there.
Mirror Nolan. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Through the looking glass.
And part of the problem is I don't really have much of a grip on what specifically about Dakota is so terrifying to me, but it is like because I don't have like a linguistic grip on it that it is so terrifying. Not really, so I don't have the capacity to like synthesize strategies in the way that I would typically in instances where things are scary to me.
Are you gonna think about this later on and try and figure things out more?
I don't generally direct my thinking too forcefully like that. I could do that. I have thought about it for a couple of years over different situations, but hoping in part through my interactions with her to uncover and like gain power over that weakness in myself. I imagine it maybe has something to do with my like propensity to internalize guilt that people put on me or something, or something, I don't know.
As in, when that happens, it
Well,
feels
it's like sorry, it's because I view her as very like potently emotionally manipulative, and it is something that if she were to like, she's like, oh, basically like just let go and let me like hold your heart or whatever, including all the power that connotes of her having, like, if she, and just rely on like my goodwill, like my goodwill's enough to trust me. And I'm like, I do not trust you. You do not. It doesn't. Lots of things about the way she acts seems to say that she is primarily concerned with extracting from me like affirmation for her goodwill rather than like actually embodying goodwill. And I fear that I would get like crushed by her without having any way to stop it. Have you been in here before, Clara?
I haven't. This is my first time. I've heard of things like this, but haven't actually ever tried it. Part of what one of the questions that I think I had that I am still working on is what the standards for interaction in the space are.
They're not quite what Cray says.
I don't think there aren't any. I imagine there are some.
I wrote up to
You have your avocado, which means if you say avocado action,
I
then...
saw that one, yes. But also like there are ways in which one could interact in this space, which would probably get one excluded from the space because it would ruin the purpose. Like I could simply talk over everyone the entire time and prevent anything else from happening.
Could you?
I mean, theoretically, I couldn't in the sense that that's not something that I as a person would feel comfortable doing.
I've definitely been in
usually do you usually dance with the sports? The things that are 3 or 4 standard deviations away from the norm?
Explain that. I don't translate that.
Standard distribution curve?
Yes, I know
Okay.
that.
The things that are way
Sports?
out in the ends, they call them sports.
Ah,
They're
okay.
like more than 4 standard deviations away. So yes, in a group setting, theoretically, somebody could talk loud enough so that nobody else could say anything. But statistically, it doesn't exist. I've been doing this for 5 years. It's never happened once.
Yeah.
So why spend your time thinking about things that are statistically very unlikely?
Well, that's the extreme example. The less extreme example is if while you are trying to discuss somebody else's thing, I interrupt and either have a comment on their thing that misses the point because I have not
Why don't you
successfully
try
explained the
it and see what happens?
I probably would have eventually. I was just waiting until I had
Eventually.
enough context to feel comfortable with it.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, stop apologizing for my reality.
Sorry.
Hey. Weisenheimer's.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, I don't know. I think there are, I prefer to interact in the correct way in spaces. And I like to take my time to figure out what that would be.
Good luck.
Yeah. I
Way
do
to
pretty
stay
good at it.
Way to stay super safe.
I'm right
It
there
super
with
is,
you,
yeah.
Clay.
But like I said, it's a successful enough strategy for me that it's difficult to not do. Or it's a thing that I can very much justify.
I want to hand dance with Cray.
Sure. If only you knew how to lap dance.
Yeah, I
Is
suspect that
JJ
this is the kind
okay,
of
Alton?
space.
She's recovering and learning how much she enjoys I make up being having anger evoked from her. I make up
God,
that's unowned.
if she had some balls, she could probably come out and share with us how she's doing with that. But no, she hasn't got any balls. She's got to be a little pussy, go off into a room by herself, process it by herself.
How can I relate to her in that state when that's something that's largely she's
Treat her like she has balls.
okay. I do by like saying really inflammatory things to her, and
You could probably go in there and say, hey, are you still trying to practice having balls? And if she says yes, then say, get your ass out there and put yourself on the front line.
My experience of your trying to do that, Alton, has not been the same as it seems Cray is suggesting.
The point, Rian, is not to get him not to do it. The point is to get him to do it.
Sure, but you can try diving off the diving board before setting him up to your high dive.
Been here 5 years. He won't do high dives.
Alton, I noticed JJ responds well when you model it first and invite her with your anger.
Okay, I did a couple cycles of that. She seemed very receptive. And I'll do more cycles. Great. I will practice that.
So
You're gonna say
put this on a phone and take it to her.
You're saying, oh, I see. Oh, that's really helpful. That's really sweet of you. Okay, great. Haven't thought about that.
Yeah,
I'm
if
curious
he's not
if you have
gonna,
any-
if he's not gonna put himself in the fray, he'll put a phone in the fray.
Norman, curious what if you had any insights on what I shared about Dakota.
Why don't you ask one of the feminines, Rain?
Is okay. Because I guess you mean just you or Clara, right? Not Dakota.
Yeah, asking Dakota would be beyond the purpose.
Because I have more familiarity with Norman than with you or Clara.
Then all's the better.
Say what?
All's the better. You know, less dance moves that you can anticipate.
I know less dance moves that I can anticipate.
If you engage with somebody you're less familiar with, you'll have less ability to anticipate the dance moves.
Okay. What do you have any insights, Clara?
Can you specify what you're looking for insights on? I'm still catching up on the entire context.
He's an engineer, for God's sakes.
Me?
He means me.
Uh,
I know you
I know
do.
you do, Dakota.
I also do, but I am
Bullshit.
believe
I'm-
what you know.
I'm unclear again on the entire or the broader context of your situation. I think the only commentary I have off the top of my head, and I don't know if this answers your question, is I felt like your arguments about capacity were unsatisfying to me. The whole, I'm very sympathetic kind of towards determinism as a concept, we don't have a choice in what we do really, but kind of emphasizing that and drawing attention to that is self-defeating in my opinion. Or it avoids the I am doing this thing because I can't do any better, prevents you from doing better, and avoids the point that you should be or you do want to be doing better.
Sure. No, I agree with you. If I'd had the space to articulate it, I would have said as much. Part of the reason I didn't ask you directly, Amber, was because you being ask one of the feminines, obviously not Dakota, and obviously not Clara. Why not just say, why not ask me? That's exactly the kind of shit that makes me not ask you.
Why is it shit?
Because it's dishonest. It's like,
is it?
yes. It's not beyond you. It was consciously in your mind, on some, at least subconsciously, that it was you that you were asking me.
You can ask me.
I know, but you want me to, and you're like criticizing me for not, but you're not saying it directly. You're just like implying it in a roundabout way that I find like distrustful, or not distrustful, but untrustworthy.
I actually didn't care if you asked me. I don't see all who's in this room, so you are on my screen at this point, so I have no idea how many feminines are in this room. My problem was that you asked Norman, another masculine, how he thought you should interact with feminine. You've been dancing with this whole time about how you should interact with a feminine. My thought was, why don't you ask another feminine how you
Seemed to get
interacted with
a
a feminine?
multi-negative response from asking Clara.
Multi-negative.
Like
Other people
multiple
thought you
people.
shouldn't ask
Yeah.
me.
Yes,
Hmm.
exactly.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, it seemed like both you and Cray had negative reactions, at least. I don't remember
To you
clearly
ask,
who
to
it
you
was.
asking Clara?
Yeah.
It felt cowardly is not the right word, but definitely like deflected because I don't know who else is in the room. It felt like you were kind of sideswiping.
Sideswiping, like getting away from your invitation, it's natural progression into inviting you. Or
Meaning
listening
you
to
were
you.
you were asking somebody who's brand new, who has admittedly doesn't know the context and is under the influence of that ignorance. So not prepared to show up fully in the
How
context of
wouldn't
the
that
container.
even, but that would directly satisfy exactly what you said. It would be like, oh, I would have even less capacity to anticipate the dance moves. I would be even more surprised by this person who is like so distantly connected.
Sure. It
There's
was
value
just
to asking new people, but there is also I will not feel the ability to criticize or to fully commentate because I don't have the full context, so you won't
No
get
one has the
as
full context, though. I mean,
but
whoever
other people have enough context to feel more willing to have thorough and potentially critical opinions about what you did.
Do you lack that capacity?
Yes.
I don't
I
know
don't
that I would
critique
know
before
that.
I feel like I am fairly equipped for that.
Sure, a valid response.
And I don't think most new people would. I think most of the time if you're being weird in a conversation and somebody totally new walks up, it's often a funny joke thing that you can do. You say, hey, you agree with me, don't you? Or just like, hey, help me tell this person that I'm wrong. This is the joke version of it. You can also do do you think I was being unfair? And I think it's kind of a common social knowledge that the person will not be willing to say, yes, definitely. They'll say, I don't know. I saw some things, but I'm new here. What do I know?
Norman, what did you think of that exchange?
I don't feel like answering that question. I'd rather answer how I feel. I feel amused and disconnected from the conversation. I think underneath that there's sadness too. Seeing Dakota and Rian's patterns activating each other. Painful to watch. It's also not my job to intervene, so.
That's a great question that I'm asking myself the last 10 minutes. At what point is it my job to intervene? Like if I see people beating each other up, sure. Yeah, like I self-preservation dictates, let them do whatever they want. It's their heads. It also feels cruel. And I don't like myself any better. That's for sure.
Whenever you want.
Not a
Right.
job, it's a dance.
Brian, I have a question for you.
What's that?
You mentioned in one of your orations that you had a desire to hold Dakota's heart and to have her trust you in that. Was that
Other way around.
okay? Can you say it again then so I can understand?
That Dakota has a desire to be allowed to be the person who's fully supporting my heart,
Hmm.
and so which requires me to support it none and protect it none and completely like offer it vulnerably
Uh-huh.
with just like a trust me bro.
And you fear her need for validation.
Yeah, will like not exercise regard for me and will then just like use me like a thing that doesn't have feelings.
Brian, I wonder how much grieving have you been doing post breakup?
Most of it was pre-breakup.
But what about after?
It's
I think I know the answer.
it's just it is what it is.
Definitely don't have control over your capacity to grieve.
I don't view grief as something that is like requires to be like saddled exactly.
It rides you.
If I let it, yeah.
And if you don't,
I don't really feel like I lack that. I feel very gratified through drowning in it. It feels good.
my story is what you don't grieve, you project onto all the other feminines here, and you work that through them versus within yourself.
I mean, that's much more likely to be true of like unprocessed grief from my mother than from Natasha.
Could be cumulative.
But obliquely.
That's the feminine.
Specific mode of it, yeah. I don't find it common to all. Comes from men also, males, in through their feminine.
What's happening? Where? Empathizing, read.
I'm putting Cray to sleep.
Armchair psychologizing is.
It's a bunch of people who want to be brilliant diagnosticians and they're trying to come up with their brilliant diagnostics on Rian. And they're doing it because they want to feel important or they want to feel not pieces of shit or something. They want to diagnose what's wrong with them. They want to be brilliant at it. They want to have an impact on it.
I think diagnoses are very good for getting results.
You obviously have not danced with very many people in your life then. In my opinion.
So just briefly, so I have seems like I was able to have JJ share a lot of anger and frustration uncovered towards me, which was great. And I feel way more connected with her now, experiencing this incredible anger that she's seemingly in right now and stewing in. So I'm wondering how to have like cleaner or like set containers while somebody's already in a hot state or like super angry. How do I?
They're worse.
You should make it. Yeah, I was definitely making it worse, like way worse. But like, and I'm like, okay,
Go try to have sex with her. Tell her how hot she is.
I found myself really connected with her. I made that very clear, and then she seemed to get even more pissed, and so
Yeah.
I
What are you wanting to do? She's getting more in touch with her anger. That's what you say you want.
had it. I mean, so Josh and I had to like sit down like intervention style thing with her before, and then she got like in touch with like unfelt needs or desires and things, and that was super connected, and like there was a bunch of sadness in there, and she was owning way more things, and so I imagine that this could be a similar thing, but with anger. So, but like, what are some? There's probably some like best practices around like you really just say only just have them own their safe word, and that's it, and then everything else is just you just put
Why
up.
don't you go try it out? You're supposed to
check
fall
it.
down. You're supposed to get it wrong. You're supposed to learn from your mistakes.
Sounds expensive.
Yes, it is. It's terribly expensive. And she'll love you for trying. She might hate you in the moment.
Yeah, that's kind of the sense. Okay, she asked me how much I wanted her to fall down and like skin her knee again, like when she was on earlier. And I'm like, well, I mean, I definitely want you to take swings, but
And you said a lot. Why do you want me to fall down and skin my knee? Because your public face drops off for a little bit. And I get to taste what's behind that.
Well, that was beautiful. Okay, so great. Any other tips around? I'm totally unrelated. Do you have any tips for dealing with people who have very different incentive landscapes, like that other people may have called sociopathic?
It depends on how bad it is.
Okay.
I mean, the point is the point in most of this, Alton, is you're trying to get people to do things that are outside of their cultural norms, and you have to be able to craft carrots that mean something.
Yeah.
You're seeing a beautiful display here today of people who think that they're getting the carrots that they want. But in looking at it, they're actually getting carrots that they're not copping to.
They're not topping to?
Copping to.
Copping.
What is copping?
They're not admitting to.
Oh.
Josh not admitting that really what his psychology is looking for is to be labeled a piece of shit one more time. That's the intent of his psychology.
But isn't that just the first layer, and then
It's the strongest layer.
Okay.
So
I didn't have any good models for real love when I got to be an adult. I had no idea.
Okay,
I had no vocabulary. I had no skill set. A bunch of reactive patterns around it. So I had to teach myself how to do that.
How'd you do that?
Slowly and with a lot of knee scraping. Created models, looked to models and said, that looks like, I think I like that. I was wrong a lot. I was very wrong. So yeah, you learn. You're not trying to get it right. And all of this stuff, it's not like you want the winning formula for how to play Wimbledon. There's no such thing. You want a broad bunch of skill sets and vocabulary so that no matter what comes up, you have some way of dancing with it.
Okay, great. Any other ways that we put stop losses in to like limit the damage or downside?
There's no damage, you idiot.
Like, like with AJ earlier, maybe there's ways we could have more softly or more cushionedly.
It's her journey. It's her thing. Let her own her own stuff. Stop trying to save her from herself. The scars that you gain on your journey are the measures.
So
you
I'm
take pride in them.
Emotionally scarred, and that's just part of the deal. I'm hearing that you want me to welcome people into our house to get emotionally scarred, and that's just what.
Yeah, and tell them, you don't want to lead with ritual scarification, ritual emotional scarification. Welcome. Meet them at the door with the rusty saw blade. That's not a good idea.
Just do that behind closed doors after you. It seems.
You're saying, you're not saying people, you're not telling people that this is a cotton candy place. This is a place where people have pain. And it's okay. It's part of the human thing, is to have pain, to
Okay,
fall down, to make
Yeah, Clara, how's this all
mistakes.
landing with you? Because you're someone who
Oh yeah, I like want to say in the chat, the thing that I made a face about, I think mostly, scars as a good thing is, I think, I have a lot of quibbles with that. And also,
You know any human being who has no scars?
No, I don't think it's reasonable or possible to try and never have a scar ever.
Good.
Trying to avoid every bad experience is bad, but trying to mitigate bad experiences is good. And pretending that, oh no, scars are just like, scars are a good thing actually,
Then
seems
find it.
false to me.
That's fine. Have a good time with that then.
Clara, what I've noticed in the conscious relating community is that there are so many tools, so many stopgaps, so many phrases and the ways that you interact with people that it ends up insulating you to everything. And so you set up all these boundaries, you learn how to own your no, you learn how to own your yes, you learn all of these tools, and you're unconsciously setting up yourself for rigidity because you're no longer able to remain supple. You're not exercising every muscle that you have because you're using all of these tools, and the tools become like a straitjacket.
You're focusing more on tools than on relaxed.
No, you're attuning. It's a little bit like somebody going to a retreat and coming home and losing the ability to communicate with their family. Like they learned all these really beautiful tools of communication, but they lost a skill. So they lost the ability to speak with muggles, per se. And so you go into these containers and you surround yourself with the same kind of people saying the same kinds of things and giving you the same kind of validations and giving you the same kind of compliments and calling you out in the same kinds of ways and using the same words. And it becomes so rote that you lose the ability to dance with anybody in any other way. And like Dakota earlier, I was noticing that she kept trying to explain herself. And Craig kept stopping her, but that's part of that training. It's like, but I need the other person to understand how I feel because then everybody's okay. But that's not actually true. Everybody's just placated. Like everybody's just a little bit numb. But even with the authenticity that we're taught is correct, that's not actually correct. You're authentic for that group. Learn how to be authentic in that flavor.
Yes. You've learned a script that works very well in a specific context and lost the ability to adapt to other contexts improvisationally, kind of.
Correct. You've lost the ability and eventually you lose the interest because it becomes uncomfortable.
They're gonna love you,
and so
Clara. That house is gonna love you.
So,
Hey, yo, Craig, what are you trying?
So coming into
What do you mean by this?
She's very intellectual. She has lots of good little boxes. She has lots of formulas. She has lots.
I'm a fantastic model builder.
Yes.
Yeah.
A liver? No. She doesn't live very well, but she sure builds lots of nice, pretty models. You'll fit right in. There's three people right there. Okay. Very interested in creating models.
Yeah, that's
not very
kind of the
very
impression I
interested in
got
owning their chakras at all.
What does owning your chakras mean here?
Exactly. Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
The fact that I don't understand the language you're using doesn't mean that I can't relate to the underlying concept you're trying to explain.
If I said breathe, would you ask me to explain breathing?
No.
Because it's something that you do.
I might ask you to explain what the intent is. Are you
What
asking
intent?
me to?
Oh, God.
Boo.
You're gonna fit right in. So Alton, I think that Amber's smart enough to say no. Well, you should invite her out.
Why would I say no?
Because you're dealing with a bunch of intellectual bubbleheads.
Mm.
Would that be the perfect use case to show?
But
how-
Well, there's
it's fun to be in my pelvis with those.
oh,
Isn't
man.
that's even better, right? Then that would be perfect.
No,
Then we
you
could
guys
let
don't speak
platform
pelvis.
What if I like it, Dakota?
I'm aware you like it. I just,
Mm.
yeah. Mm.
I'm curious what you think, or what the idea is that living here means, or the contrast to intellectual in your headness. What does that look like?
Who are you talking to?
Anyone who has an answer? Anyone who has a strong opinion?
Can I go, Alton?
Not yet, Craig.
Yeah.
Well, if a strong opinion first, we may let you.
I don't have a strong opinion.
Work on it then, otherwise it's OT for you.
Do you know chakras, Clara? Are you familiar with 7?
I'm vaguely
Vaguely?
familiar with the concept, but
Okay,
it's not
okay,
one that
so-
yeah.
So there's seats of, this is just an opinion. There's seats of different kinds of intelligences, like IQ versus EQ.
Mm.
So each of the 7 chakras have a different kind of intelligence, a different way of interpreting the world, a different way of being in the world. In this culture, an opinion, adolescent, masculine, patriarchal, hierarchical, okay? The model, the alpha here is an adolescent who is very intellectual. Right? And so the culture points to that as the epitome, being in your head. That's going to get you success.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to use those things down there, then do it from a mechanical point of view. Enjoy them, fine, but they're machines. They're machine parts, but they're not. They're from my point of view, they're intelligences. Now, Amber has more than a passing knowledge of how to have an embodied pelvic experience. Okay? These guys here, those 3 sitting in a row there,
The
they've
boy
had,
band.
they've had their share of orgasms. Okay. And Amber would probably say, probably at about the 9th percentile. They've had about 9% of what an orgasm could be. Probably doesn't affect their bodies very much.
Mhm.
Particular parts of their body, yes. But they don't have full-bodied orgasms. They don't have full-body sensuality.
Mhm.
Because they're from here up.
Mhm.
That's where they live. And so looking at you, Clara, I think you're feminine. I'm not sure. But you exhibit a lot of those successful cultural norms, being in your head, being very analytical, lots of little boxes, lots of little A to B to C to D to E. Not a lot of flowing in the moment.
I'm working on that one. I agree with you. I guess my quibble is that I've gotten a lot better at the flowing in the moment part, and I also
Evidence to the contrary. I haven't. I've only seen you for this little time.
yeah. No, I agree that even now probably I'm more than the standard, but I have more and more cared about and tried to get in touch with the body side stuff.
I have tried.
And I think
to
I
get
do
in
an all
touch
right
with,
job of it.
And when one gets in touch with it, one has to be somewhere to get in touch with it.
One sure does.
Yes. And so one doesn't actually move there to be there.
I
One
know.
reaches for it and touches it and lets it inform their brain.
It's a really irritating one because it's a thing where you kind of have to relax to do it, and relaxing on purpose
no.
real hard. I'm trying really hard to relax. I'm trying so
there
hard.
you go. There you
Turns
go.
out.
So Josh, soft and slow. She probably will not be able to get out of her head at all, and that's okay. Just be gentle. Don't go whacking her with any sticks. Nobody. That's my opinion. No whacking Clara with sticks.
Hey, whacking me with sticks is a great way to get me out of my head, actually. Just so you know.
Is it a
Says
great
the
way or
victim.
is it the only way?
It's a great way. There are other ways. There are slow ways, yes, but those are sometimes more difficult.
They relish your difficulty.
Hmm. Yeah. I just don't
No,
like
you're
it
not
when things
believing
aren't
me.
successful.
Talk about a masculine orientation, you two. Yeah. Good Lord. Okay, can I go now?
Yes, you can go, Craig. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.